So you all have been waiting patiently, and I mean patiently, for the most part. But it's time, you guys. I got it right here. The Pure Thunder Dragon deck is finally going to be profiled. I know you guys are super excited. I'm actually super excited because y'all know how much I love Thunder Dragons, and I started playing Pure when it first came out, and yeah, even though the deck has gone through a million different iterations, sometimes you just go back to your roots, and that's honestly what this feels like. So hopefully you guys are ready. Pure Thunder Dragon deck profile, you guys. If you're excited, let's get into it. All right, you guys. What's going on? Slim here to bring you guys that Pure Thunder Dragon deck profile. You already saw the intro, so I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's get into it. So Pure Thunder Dragons, you guys. Disclaimer, there's no dangers in this deck. So if you can't afford dangers, if you don't want to trade your life away to get them, then this deck might be for you. I will admit it is not budget. It definitely is not. There are some cards in here that, do cost a pretty penny, but for the most part, if you already picked up these cards, for the most part, you can just build this deck if you already had the Thunder Core laying around. So yeah, I'll give shout outs at the end and stuff to people who inspired this deck, but basically the 10th place list from San Jose Regionals actually inspired this as well, even though I never was able to profile the deck. I think Pure is just really good. In kind of any format. I feel like it did lose some steam, and I feel that maybe the danger list is superior, but I have seen for a really long time that Pure Thunder just has really decent matchups across the board. And one thing I really like about the deck is that you play past turn 1. So I'll explain that more as I go through the profile, but let's get into it. So your main normal summon is no other than Battery Man Solar. This card just does everything for you. Sending your Thunder, can produce a token, can make some summon summoner. It does everything you need to do. Best normal summon in the deck. I'm so happy it came super. Shout out to my boy James. He helped me get my 3rd Solar. My boy Dimitri hooked me up on these 2. So, yes, I finally got my set of Super Solars. Card's self-explanatory. It's the best normal summon the deck has. We don't play Phantom Skyblaster in this deck because we're not playing Saryujas. So, it's your main normal summon. Onto the Thunders. These should be all too familiar. We got 3 of the OG, 3 Dark, 3 Hawk. We've got 3 Roar, 3 Matrix, and the 1 Duo. Okay, so unlike the Thunder Dragon deck, we're playing all of them in triplicates, except, of course, the 1 Duo. That's standard. You don't really need to talk about that. But, yeah, in the Pure build, for those of you that aren't familiar, you do max out on all of them. And I'll be the first to say, in the Danger Thunder build, this card is a lot better. This card is not as good in the Pure build, but what I like about it, too, is it's the easiest way if you open Solar in this. If Solar gets stopped or something, you discard this, you get another copy or 2. It can still guarantee you a Colossus. And what I like about this, too, is that with Titan, this card is obscene. Titan in this is just you just destroy 3 or 4 cards, and it's ridiculous. So OG still has its value. Dark is self-explanatory. What's cool with 3 is that a lot of times during your opponent's end phase, you can discard it to fetch another one to thin out your deck and make it so you don't really brick on them. So it's fine. Hawk is just insane in Pure because it's the best follow-up since you are playing past turn 1, having multiple, obviously you don't want to open multiple, but having extra ones in the deck is fine. And Roar, Roar is the main card you're sending with Solar. If you happen to open Gold Sark, it's what you're Gold Sarking. If you Allure. Another thing I forgot to mention is that with Allure, obviously, these ones are the best. So, alluring these is nuts. You always get a plus off of it, so they're really, really good. And then Matrix. So Matrix is, I guess, technically your second normal summon. But the thing about it is that usually if you're normal summoning it, you're linking into Link Karibo, and that's not really a strong play. Yes, you can search another one. But what I like about this card is that it gives you the ability, again, to boost your Thunder monsters, which is actually quite prevalent getting over problematic monsters. Not only that, it triggers Titan. And this, this in conjunction with Dark or anything with Titan is just insane. Anything that you can use during either player's turn to pop your opponent's card, disrupt what they're doing is nuts. So, yes, in Pure Thunder, we do max out on all the Thunder Dragons. You want to actually see these cards, unlike the Danger build where you're not really focused so much on Thunders. You just really want to, just build your board of Colossus and Titan. Double Colossus Titan is usually what you're aiming for. So, yeah, it's pretty solid. All right, now onto the hand traps. Now, another thing is that this is why I really like Pure. Pure lets you play hand traps where the Danger Thunders doesn't let you play anything besides maybe 1 or 2 Phantasmes. This gives you versatility. And
To start off, yes, we do play 3 Phantasme. Like I said in the disclaimer, it is not budget. I know this card is one of the most expensive cards in the game right now, but for good reason. This card is still insane. I mean, it's really good against Solomon Grades, really good against combo decks. I mean, you draw cards, fix your hand. It's pretty nice. I'll be honest, I would not play the deck without it. You can, if you want, just depending on what you're taking this to. Like if it's a locals or something, you can replace this with other hand traps or just not play it altogether. I am playing 45 cards just because there were a lot of cards I wanted to fit in here, and you'll see why I play 45 when we get through the rest of the deck profile. I got the 3 Ash, it's the most generic hand trap, and then 3 Valor. So I was originally playing 2 and 2 along with 2 Ogres. But I talked to Manav, I talked to a couple people. Ogre just, yes, it's good against multi-role, and yes, it does have applications, but I feel these are just stronger across the whole like meta. Obviously, I've already explained this. Ash is generic. And Valor, what I like about Valor, you can open multiple of these and still use them. Like, this really hurts a lot of players. Like, being able to Valor stuff in addition to Ashing stuff is just insane. And like I said, being able to use more than one is nuts. And I felt these were just the best hand traps you could play. Like I said, if you don't have Phantasmes, I mean, it's really hard to replace Phantasme in a deck, but you can just play it with more hand traps. You could play Ogre if you want. I just wasn't the biggest fan, but you can try things like Ghost Bell. You can try other things. You can play Impermanence. I mean, it just really depends. I know Impermanence is another expensive card, but it does have the reprint, so there is that option. So yeah, what I love is that you have these options. Like, if you go second, you actually have a way to play, in a sense, and stop your opponent from playing. So I really do like that about Pure over the Danger Thunder deck for sure. And then I have 2 one-ups. I had to play them in the deck. That's why my deck is over 40 cards this time. I played 1 Denko second. I played 1 BLS. Whenever I played Pure Thunder, I always played these cards, and I just really couldn't deviate from that. The list I saw in San Jose actually played 2 of these, and I thought that was pretty badass. I just wanted Denko in the main just because it is searchable off Fusion. It is a Thunder, so it can become a Colossus. And honestly, with all the Mystic Mind decks running around, like, I mean, you know, you just want to Denko and, you know, make them pay. Like, honestly, like, make them pay. Like, summon Denko and, you know, just hope to get there with stuff. So, I really like Denko. I think it's so good still against Trap decks, still really good against Striker and stuff like that, and of course for the Mind deck. And I just honestly love BLS. Like, I know the card's at 3, and I know some people will play more than 1. Just, there's something about BLS. Like, I remember when I played it, this was like the best card in the mirror match. You just summon it and you just banish their Colossus, or you just attack 2 guys or something. It was nuts. This card is actually really insane. So I really like it. You don't have to play it if you don't want to. It's just a personal preference. I just really like BLS. So yeah, so that rounds out my monster count. I think it's 28 or 30 monsters. It's a lot of monsters. But yeah, that's my monster count. Spells, I've got, of course, 3 Allure. You got a lot of darks. Well, not a lot of darks, but you have a decent amount of darks. Phantasme is a dark, too. You're honestly just trying to hit Roar and Dark. They trigger. They do crazy things. This is your draw power. We're not playing Sekka's Light, obviously, so this is your draw power. So it's pretty good. 3 instant fusion. This is another reason why I love Pure Thunder Dragons. Being able to play Kaminari attack to start your combos. Being able to play Thousand Eyes Restrict to steal a monster, especially in the mirror match, and then linking to Link Revo is ridiculous. Yeah, this card is nuts. I think Instant Fusion is still such a good extender in like any deck, so I'm definitely a fan of this card. Again, another reason why I love Pure Thunder. And then one thing that we did that is in the deck for this particular build is 3 Call by the Grave. And I feel Call by the Grave, I know a lot of people, believe it or not, are on the fence with this card. Like, yes, I understand that sometimes, you know, it doesn't help you when you're trying to combo. But if you notice, Thunders is not really like a super wombo combo deck, Pure Thunder at least, because I mean we aren't playing Brilliant Fusion, we aren't playing stuff like that. But what I like about Call by the Grave is the versatility it has to not only if you're going first, to stop hand traps, going second to disrupt opponents' graveyards is good against Solomon Gray, really good against Ray, really good against pretty much anything. I feel like it's kind of like Ash. Like I've always said, you always find something to Ash. I feel like you'll always find something to Call by the Grave because it just negates it and banishes it, gets it out of your way. It's pretty nice. And like I said, like I want my stuff to go off. Getting Ashed isn't horrible, but if I could prevent the Ash, I'd rather do it. So I think Call by the Grave is definitely just a very versatile card this format. I'm actually a huge fan of the card in pretty much any deck that can play it. And then I am playing 2 Potted Desires. That's another reason I'm playing 45 cards. Now I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, why are you playing that card? I remember when Federico almost won Milan, and he played Thunder, and he played Desires, and he played like 43 cards, and everyone thought his list was crazy. Like, God, why would you do that? Like, There's so many 3-ofs in this deck. Like, I want to draw 2 cards, and this card just gets you there. Like, sometimes it just gets you there. Like, you play so many 3-ofs, the statistics that you're going to banish, like, a 3-of is, like, so low that I feel like just getting that plus is so important. And, you know, with the allures, with this, like, you can just really just, you know, just get there and, you know, get your, you know, set up your multiple Colossus, your Titan boards. And, you know, I really like that about this deck, is that you can do that. And Desires has just always been a good card. I think it's still one of the best cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! I know a lot of decks don't play it as much as they used to. You know, decks have that don't rely on their extra deck, go to extravagance. But I personally think if a deck can play Pot of Desires, it should, because getting that plus is just really important, especially when you play so many 3-ofs. So that is the reason for Pot of Desires. And no, it is not a neg-9. It is actually a plus. So yeah. And then, of course, the 2 Thunder Dragon Fusion. I used to always play 3, but I eventually cut it. Like, you can brick with this card early on. This card is very versatile, which I do like. And yeah, I mean, this card searches whatever you need. Being able to search Duo as a follow-up, searching Denko as a follow-up to kill your opponent is absolutely obscene. It's always been my favorite play. Like, if I didn't open the Denko, like, searching Denko with this is ridiculous, and searching, you know, just any of your cards is great. And this card just recycles your stuff. Like, it's just so good. So I would definitely not play 1. I think 2 is correct. I think 2 is definitely correct. 3, if you're really ballsy. I used to be ballsy with this deck, but, you know, times have changed, formats have changed, had to, you know, play a little safer, kind of. And then just the last one, I was 1 gold. Sorry, that's self-explanatory. The card is still nuts, even at 1. And 1 reborn, because, I mean, you can just kill them with this card, too. So that is the main deck, you guys. It is 45 cards. I'll do the extra deck real quick. All right, so for the extra deck, 3 Colossus. This should be self-explanatory. It's pure Thunder Dragons. It's not Danger Thunder. There's no excuses to not play 3. This card is the heart and soul of the deck. Card is still absolutely obscene, like, to tell you the truth. This card is still nuts, so... very good card. And I am only playing 2 Titan now. In the past, I have played 3, and people will argue that the 3rd one is necessary. I completely understand if you play 3. You see one of the cards I'm playing in the extra deck, you'll see why I cut one of the Titans. If you don't play this card, if you can't afford it, etc., like, you can just, you know, put the 3rd Titan. Trust me, I wanted to fit the 3rd Titan, but I wanted to fit other cards in there as well. But yeah, this card is insane. This card with Dark in hand, or on your turn with regular OG Thunder Dragon, or with Matrix. I mean, you just pop so many cards, and this card's huge. Like, this card's nuts. It's how you win the mirror match. Like, really, it's how you win the mirror match. And there's one thing about this build over Danger Thunder: they can't play this. So yeah, that card's pretty nice. Other fusions, of course, I already mentioned the 1,000 Strike Kaminari, Steel Monsters, you know, break boards, make Link Karibo, start your combos. Old Man is still solid. I still remember how hard it was to actually track down this card and get it. Like, damn. Like, it's one of the few commons I don't think I'll ever get rid of. Like, real talk. Just because of the struggle it was to get it. Like, it was insane. On the links, 1 Link Karibo. You make it with your Matrix. You make it with your 1,000 Eyes Restrict. Just a good versatile card. I mean, it gives you a Link Arrow, too. Like, sometimes your hand can just be really bad, but you can end on a Link Karibo and a Colossus. It gives you something. I think Link Karibo is still good. I think you should always play it in pure. It just gives you a versatile Link monster. 2 Summon Summoner, crazy flipper guy. Yeah. Floating on a cloud, a thunder cloud. Yeah, this card's great. I mean, this card is just the best Link for the deck. I mean, it's made for the deck. It's nuts. It's so easy to make with Solar and, you know, the token. And, you know, it becomes a 3rd Colossus itself sometimes. I mean, the card's just everything. Gives you 2 arrows. I mean, what can I say? Its effect sometimes comes up, but not that much. I played the versatile Nightmare cards. I just figured, you know, you need them. Back row and spinning stuff is good. Again, mirror match, this card's nuts. Just baiting out stuff is good too. Helps you link climb as well, which is really important. Then I did play Borreload. I mean, this card's still insane, especially against any kind of Thunder deck. Like, this is like the kryptonite to that deck. And I actually went 1 step further to play Boral Sword. This is the card that I replaced the 3rd Titan with. Now, again, if you can't afford this card, play the 3rd Titan. The reason why I played this is I did notice all the times I had played Thunder. At the time, I didn't actually have access to a Boral Sword, so I didn't really test it. But then I realized that this card actually just gives you a way to win going second. Kind of like in any kind of going second strategy. Like, you're going second, you're trying to break your opponent's board. You might get to a simplified game state, and, like, you just make this. You attack with have another monster kill him in this game. So I like that versatility. I like that possible win condition. So I really do like that. I like having the 2 Borals in the extra deck. Like I said, if you can't afford it or just don't want to play it, just play the 3rd Titan. And then yes, I do play number 68 as my rank 8. So you guys probably would have seen that. Yeah, there's got to be a rank 8 somewhere. Originally it was Harbinger, but then I decided Sky Prison was just better. This card is so good against Solomon Great. They literally just can't play. What I like about this too is that this card just gains 100 attack for every monster in your graveyard. I mean, we play a ton of monsters, so like this thing, like literally, you could summon this thing in defense. It's like a gigantic dweller that just says, "Yeah, Salad, you can't play." And I mean, this card's just good. Like Typhoon was the guy from E-Man was actually the one who first played this card, and then people started playing this card, and yeah, I think this card is actually nuts. So definitely, if you're gonna play a rank 8 in this deck, play this one. Like, I know Harbinger has a lot of, attractive qualities, like, but I mean, it's not like Danger Thunder where you're trying to protect your Heraldic Link, so I still think, at the end of the day, this is probably the correct card. But yeah, you guys, like I said, you guys been patient. This is the deck. Again, this is just the build that I've been working with. I worked with a lot of people. Again, shout out to Typhoon from E-Man. He was the one who originally got people back on Pure Thunder, and I saw another build that topped YCS, YCS Ecuador. It was very similar to his. And then, of course, the guy that got 10th place at our San Jose Regional and anyone else that's topped. I've looked at a lot of lists. Like, trust me, I've talked to a lot of people about it. And this is just what I arrived at. Even though I really didn't want a 100% net deck anyone, I wanted to actually add like some things that I didn't really see. Like, for some reason, I didn't see any of the builds playing Denko. I guess Denko wasn't that good when the builds first came out, but I really love Denko. Like, you don't, like I said, you don't have to play it. You can shave this down to 40 if you want. But I noticed with this deck, like, you really don't want to open, like, when you have more cards, your hands are more diverse, and I like that. I like having a couple Thunders, having some hand traps, having that versatility because you're not always guaranteed to go first, so the hand traps really do help a lot. And yeah, I mean, it's Pure Thunder, you guys. You have to max out on these. You could argue on the numbers of Matrix you play or the numbers of Roar you play, but at the end of the day, I think it's actually correct to play all of them. You want to see these cards, especially because it is Pure Thunder. Your boards are not negate boards. Your boards are like double Colossus Titan, which can interrupt your opponent, and then they're under 2 mistakes that are protected as well as a Titan that's protected, so it's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's it, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Things are all around. This time I know the bell should be there if you guys want to know the videos that I'm uploading every couple days. And yeah, if you guys smash that like button, 100 plus likes, it lets me know you guys really enjoyed it. It makes me feel good. And yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think of Pure Thunder? Do you think Pure Thunder has a chance, this format going into nationals, etc.? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. And just remember, it's not just a game. It is a lifestyle. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.